What is the game of fruits? It's living focused on the results that last. When you do what you were born to do, people might criticize you for a year or two, but eventually they come back because your fruits speak for themselves. You don't need to please everyone, nor sit at every table. When I realized this, my life became much lighter. There are tables where people profess things that go against my principles. Why force myself to be there? The game of fruits teaches that even your enemies will recognize your results and eventually come to you. It's not about being at the best tables, but about doing what you were called to do. Let me share something with you. One of the best feelings in life is when an enemy apologizes. It's liberating. Do you know why 2021 was one of the most transformative years for me? Because even though it was my worst year in many aspects, I resolved more relationship issues during that period than ever before, one after the other. And the most interesting part? I didn't have to chase anyone. The secret? Fruits that last. When you focus on producing results, conflicts resolve themselves, people come to you, and when that happens, you realize it wasn't about them, it was about me. That's how you create the space to address unresolved issues. Now, if you're afraid of upsetting others, understand this. Sometimes it's necessary to disappoint people. Many spend 30 years trying to please everyone, parents, bosses, pastors, and all it does is keep them from living the purpose God placed within them. Let me tell you a personal story. When I wanted to marry Carol, some people in religious circles said it wasn't a good idea. Why? Because she was rich and I was poor. Can you believe that? They tried to plant the idea that our love didn't matter, that the difference in social class would be a problem. But do you know what I did? I didn't listen. Love won. And today I can say that without Carol, I might not be here. I might never have dreamed of becoming wealthy or building something bigger. In fact, the first time I wanted to buy a car, I thought about getting a Volkswagen Beetle with 18-inch rims and suicide doors. My mum tried to stop me, saying, "How are you going to pick up Carol in a luxury condo with that car?" But do you know what happened? Carol never cared about any of that. When we were 16, she used to ride with me on a simple $25 bike and she was happy. She laughed and I thought, this doesn't make sense, but I'm going to marry this woman. That's the point. When you understand what truly matters, fear loses its power. The limiting beliefs that hold you back start to disappear. But pay attention. Beliefs are like ammunition. If you don't know where to aim, you'll waste all your energy. To become invincible, write this down. I am more than a conqueror. Why is this so powerful? Because Jesus already won for us. He died to save us and gave us a kingdom. So why would I aim to be just a conqueror? I'm already more than a conqueror. Think about this. The probability of you being born is 1 in 400 trillion. The fact that you exist is already an incredible victory. It wasn't something you planned or achieved through effort. You made it here. That alone is proof that you've already won. What's left then? Just to accept it. The rest is about facing challenges and moving forward. One time a guy called me and said, "You're saying things I don't like." My response was simple. "Friend, figure that out in your own head. I'm at peace." Because in the end, what matters isn't pleasing everyone. It's living with purpose, bearing fruit, and staying faithful to the calling God placed on your life. It's amazing how people spend more time talking about others than taking care of their own lives. I get questions on Instagram every day like, "Are you a Freemason?" My response is always the same. Why are you so worried about that? It's funny how people make assumptions without knowing anything about what I've been through, the price I've paid, or the effort that's brought me here. No one saw me waking up at 4:30 a.m. every day. No one saw me reading books, giving thousands of talks, or learning from my mistakes. But these same people invent stories to justify what they don't understand. Do you know why people do that? To justify their dissatisfaction with their own lives. The truth is, when you start to grow, people look for something or someone to blame. And if they can't find anything, they'll make something up. But let me tell you something. I know who's truly responsible for everything I've achieved. And it's not my earthly father, it's the eternal Father. He is the source of it all. Now here's a deep reflection. Did you know you can reprogram your mind? That you can choose what to believe and how to react? When I look at a person, even someone labeled a criminal, I don't see what others see. I see a program that was installed in their mind. I'm reminded of Jesus on the cross with 2 men beside him. One mocked and rejected change. The other asked, "Remember me in your kingdom." And Jesus replied, "Today you will be with me in paradise." This teaches me something powerful. You can choose to be reprogrammed. You can decide to leave behind the beliefs and fears that hold you back. Fear is like extra weight in your canoe. It makes you sink instead of float. And do you know what happens when you throw that weight off? The canoe becomes lighter and you start to flow. Now imagine a bridge you need to cross. That bridge can only hold the weight of your true identity. Anything beyond that, fears, insecurities, worries, will make the bridge collapse. That's why Proverbs 4:7 says, "Sell everything you have and acquire wisdom." This means letting go of fears and burdens that lead you nowhere. Because what you own today, and whether material possessions or even titles, isn't what defines you. What matters is how God has always seen you from the beginning. When you see that, life transforms. The fear of public speaking, the fear of failure, or any other fear starts to seem ridiculous. You realize that the only thing that truly matters is living according to who God created you to be. And when you start confronting your fears, do you know what happens? You laugh at them. Because deep down they never made sense. Fear paralyzes us in so many ways, often without us realizing it. Fear of disappointing someone, fear of trying something new, fear of investing in what you truly believe in. But let me tell you something. Every great step requires courage. I remember a story from Napoleon Hill's book that completely unlocked my mindset. He was afraid of being murdered, running with the only money he had. Do you know what he did? He went to a luxury hotel. He was trembling, afraid of spending everything, but he made that decision. And in that moment he realized fear could no longer control him. That made me think I was called to be a king and a priest. Am I living like one? The truth was I wasn't. I was a good priest, but hadn't yet become a good king, prince, or patriarch. I decided everything had to change. Since then, I've started making bold decisions, like investing heavily in what truly matters. A lot of people ask me, how do you have the courage to spend 11 million rays on renovating your house? My answer is simple. Do you know the people who live there? They are the most important people on earth to me. And do you know who unlocked this mindset for me? Flavio Augusto. One day, visiting his house valued at $40 million, I asked, "Why invest so much in a house?" And he replied, "Because the most important people are there." That response etched itself into my mind. It's not about the money.